Welcome to the grid for the FIA GT World Cup. Welcome to the grid for the Macau GT Cup, and this promises to be a fantastic race. Make no doubt about it, because what we're going to have here is an absolutely fantastic grid. It is dripping with manufacturer drivers, and of course GT3 cars are absolutely fantastic around any circuit, but particularly around the Macau gear circuit. You've got drivers representing Porsche, you've got drivers representing Ferrari, BMW, Mercedes, AMG. There's bound to be a brand I've missed, but in a moment, once the cars have arrived on the grid, we'll go walkabout and try and have a word with one or two of the stars of this FIA GT World Cup, the Macau GT Cup, and bearing in mind that yesterday's qualifying race is what has set up the grid for today. It was Raffaele Marcello who yesterday won that qualifying race. He will start on pole position. He's going to be over that shoulder, but on the other side of the grid there will be Mauro Engel. Now they're both Mercedes AMG stablemates. They're driving for different teams, but in the same type of car. And 12 months ago, it was those two that went toe-to-toe on the first lap of the Macau GT Cup. It was a fantastic battle all the way down to Lisboa, and we're really looking forward to the rematch. Mauro Engel wants to win again. Raffaele Marcello is about to end his association with Mercedes AMG, so he wants to go out on a high. I asked somebody in the pit lane a few minutes ago, who would you put your money on for the win? And they said P3. Let's see whether that pans out. Let's go for a walk and see who we can find on that grid, because drivers are getting out of cars, and Raffaele Marcello in this very distinctive bright yellow Mercedes is the man on pole position. So let me elbow my way through, and let's see whether we can have a word with the man that won yesterday's race in such fine style. The car with this Grazie Lello message on the side, because after 7 fantastic years with Mercedes AMG, this is where it ends. And is it going to end on the top step of the podium? Well, there's a very good chance it will. Raffaele, yesterday went really well. Here we are again on pole position. Feeling confident?
Yeah, I mean, as I said yesterday, it's quite important the start. So for sure, if I can keep the lead after the start, then I mean, it's only to keep it clean and to have good safety car start. I mean, the big dangers here is there, yeah.
Just reflect on that time at Mercedes. You've won so much. What are the highlights?
I guess Macau in 19, Spa last year. Then I mean we had many championships. So I mean I had many highlights, not many lows, luckily. So I mean I'm proud of what we achieved, and yeah, I hope to finish in the high today.
What are you going to miss about Mercedes AMG when you move on?
I mean it's difficult to say, because I mean at the end I'm going somewhere where it's nice, and I think I can win many races also there. So I mean, I don't think we'll miss something, because I mean it will be a memory. So it's wrong to say I will miss. It's just like it will be strange to be in different colors, but it's a part of my life that is gone. So now we'll see.
Raffaele, good luck in this single driver race. Let's go this way, round the back. Let me take my camera crew with me, because I need to go and have a word with Mauro Engel. Now, he is no stranger to winning at Macau. The car is here, but I've lost him. Where's he gone? Matt, what have you done with him? Where is he? He's
wandered off to the shade, I think.
He's gone to the shade. Yeah. Oh yes, this way. Let's do an about turn. He's over there by the barriers. Right. Sorry, chaps. Let's go and find him, because Mauro is an absolute gun around here, and we're about to see, when we go racing, just how competitive this is. Right, water taken on board, quick shower. Mauro, last year it was you and Lello side by side all the way down to Lisboa. This is the rematch. The world awaits. Have you taken your brave pills this morning?
Yeah, obviously it's always exciting here at the start in Macau. So let's see. I mean, we can try and get the best start we can, and then see what opportunities arise.
Same car, different teams. Has anybody said, you know, be sensible guys, or is this absolutely a fair fight?
No, it's absolutely a fair fight. I mean, I think you know, everyone on this grid wants to win this race, and obviously, you know, we know each other, we respect each other a lot, and we've always had clean and hard racing. So yeah, I think we're set to go.
Just break down the circuit for me. We talk about all these opportunities on this part of the circuit where it's wide and it's fast, but going through the mountain part of the circuit, what can you do? Is it just, you know, is that ever an opportunity to overtake? You just have to stack people up.
We'll see what we can do, but I need to head now.
Good luck. Well done. Mauro Engel then has to run to the car, because that was the 10-minute board. Let's go this way, shall we? And see who else we can grab possibly before we go racing. I want to see if I can go to BMW, because we didn't get to Augusto Farfus yesterday. He is staying in the car at the moment, the Rover Racing BMW. But we might be able to grab a very quick word with the Rover Racing driver. Let's see, can we have a quick word with Augusto? Is he a bit busy? He's in the car, in the zone. Can we have a word? Let's try it. Augusto's won here before. Augusto, yesterday went pretty well. Good speed in that first sector. What are your chances?
Well, let's see. Mercedes are pretty fast, so we need to try to take advantage of the first sector we have, because they're very strong to the town. But yes, we had a good race, so we are ready for the challenge, up for the fight. Let's hope for a good and clean race.
Excellent, we wish you well. Augusto Farfus then, who's been a touring car racer here in seasons past, as well as a GT World Cup winner. Now, I want to still think BMW, because Sheldon van der Linde is one of the rookies to Macau, and he went really well yesterday. His car is here on the grid, except I've lost him now. Driver's possibly sheltering in the shade. No, he's vanished. So let's see who else we can find instead. Daniel Serra's Ferrari might be the next port of call. Daniel, new to the circuit, but looked really impressive yesterday. So let's see whether I can invade just very quickly. Excuse me. Daniel, for somebody new to Macau, yesterday was really impressive. Well done. How are you enjoying it?
Macau is a unique track. It's been a very nice experience. I think P6 is a good position for a rookie, so let's see what we can do today.
And how is the car around here? Is it well suited to the circuit, or is it needing a bit more pace somewhere?
I think the car is quite okay, because it's my first time, but it's the first time for the 296 here, so we are learning a lot. We did a lot of simulation in Maranello to get here as prepared as we can. But of course, when we are at the track, there is always something that we have to adjust, and let's see if we can improve the car from yesterday.
Daniel, good luck. Excellent. Thank you very much. Right, let's see who else we might just quickly be able to grab. The countdown is continuing with pace. Audi, Christopher Haase. Let's hobble this way, because Christopher has been a loyal servant of the Audi brand, and very shortly, with the 5-minute board looming, we might run out of time. So let me quickly see if I can speak to Christopher. Christopher, can I interrupt you? Looking forward to this?
Excuse me, I didn't hear you.
Sorry, are you looking forward to this? It's going to be a big battle.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's the main race, so I think pretty sure that the first 2 laps gonna be hard, but that's what we're here for. We aim for, and let's see how we end up.
How was the car yesterday? The Mercedes looked so strong in that first sector of the lap.
Well, definitely. Honestly, the car feels pretty good, I have to say. Yes, we struggle a little bit more maybe than the others in the beginning, or after safety car. But I mean, that's the thing. At the end, I think we have a strong pace. So yeah, keep your fingers crossed.
We'll look forward to watching. Good luck. Christopher Haase then for Audi. Now, I did a moment ago. I want to go this way, chaps, just quickly if we can, because down towards the front of the grid, which is where we also ought to be very shortly for the build-up to the race. Although this is the FIA GT World Cup, the Macau GT Cup, the entry is put together by SRO Motorsports Group, and he's got a very long stride, but that is why, hobble. Stefan, sorry to interrupt you. You can't leave a GT grid without a word. SRO's founder and CEO, Stefan Rattel. What a grid this is.
We love to be back. You know, we've been missing Macau for 3 years, and we're very pleased to be back with a grid which is stronger and better than it's been before COVID. And as always, going to be an amazing race.
Single driver GT races are something we don't get to see very often, but this is just an amazing entry, isn't it? Not just the brands, but the drivers.
Yeah, they are just all the best in the world out there, you know, and to have Lelo on pole, having won the race yesterday, it just reflects on the amazing season he had internationally, having won the Fanatec GT World Challenge, both overall and endurance in Europe. He's had a fantastic season. He continues, and we wish him and all the other drivers here a very good race.
And long live GT3, it's been a great concept. Stefan, enjoy the race, thank you very much. Stefan Rattel of SRO Motorsports Group then that has put together this grid, and this grid, busy as it is about to get a little quieter with people being dispatched, and that means as the 5-minute board is sounded, I better get to the box, but this is going to be a stunning race. Can't wait.
Welcome to the Macau GT Cup and the FIA GT World Cup here in Macau. That's the scene that welcomes them. We have 22 degrees, sunshine and blue skies, and the scene is set. Great to hear from David down on the grid, chatting to the drivers. The scene is very much set after their qualification race, with Raffaele Marciello taking pole position, taking the win yesterday. Cool, calm, collected. The final outing for Raffaele Marciello with Mercedes AMG, and doing it in fine style yesterday. Can he convert that in to winning the FIA GT World Cup and winning the Macau GT Cup? Last year, those two drivers made it here to compete for the Macau GT Cup, and boy, what a show they gave us. David alluded to it, side by side with Raffaele Marciello and Mauro Engel. They start on the front row of the grid. It's a mouth-watering prospect of them repeating what they did at the start of the race last year. We heard from down on the grid, both Mauro Engel and Raffaele Marciello getting ready for the start of the race. Mauro puts his gloves on. He was the eventual winner of the Macau GT Cup last year. Gets himself ready for what will be the longest race of the weekend so far, 16 laps. Next row back, we've got Mr. Macau, Eduardo Mortara. He's been plying his trade in Formula E World Championship this year, and he will line up on the inside of the second row of the grid in the gold and red Audi. Alongside him, Augusto Farfus. He's been a winner here at Macau in the FIA GT World Cup, and gives a wave to the camera. He's good to go. He mentioned to David down on the grid that the Mercedes have been quick this weekend. They certainly have been, and they need to find something for the BMW. He's got a teammate, Sheldon van der Linde, on the inside of row 3 on the grid, and he'll be lining up alongside Daniel Serra in the number 51. Harmony Racing entered Ferrari. It's the 296 for Daniel Serra. Next row back, another winner of the Macau GT Cup, that's Lons van Thor, and getting himself ready in the Porsche for the start of what will be a very dramatic race. It's just dramatic seeing these cars and drivers. Christopher Arza, heard from him down on the grid with David, and getting ready for the start of the race. Daniel Juncadella is on the 5th row of the grid. He's won here at Macau in single-seaters in the Macau Grand Prix, and is a front runner, another one of the platinum drivers. We have a whole host of platinum drivers, including Earl Bamber in the 22 car on the 5th row of the grid alongside. Next row back, we've got the number 15 car, Alessio Picariello, and he will line up alongside the number 27 car, and that is the car of Kevin Estre. You might think this is a roll call of the world's top GT drivers, and you'd be correct. We have the cream of the cream here at Macau. Next back, we have Frankie Chen Kongfu on the 7th row of the grid, alongside the number 52 car of Chan Wei An. That's the way that the 7th row of the grid lines up. 3 more rows to go, and not really shining as we know he can and will. Number 2, Jules Gounon on the inside of the 8th row of the grid, and he will be alongside the number 33 car, and that's the car of Ye Hong Lee. R&B Racing enter that Porsche 911. Last few rows of the grid, we'll see number 70, Marchi Lee, would have been lining up alongside Adelie Fong in the number 50 car, but sadly the Hello Kitty backed car, which has had huge attention, been doing a roaring trade in the merchandise outside the gear circuit here at Macau, but a big accident yesterday for Adelie Fong. Unfortunately, the chassis not able to take the start of this race, and quite a moving message on social media this morning from Adelie Fong, saying how sorry he was for all of the fans not to be able to race today, but sadly that car not taking the start. So we get ready for the green flag. Green flag is waved, off goes the Lamborghini Urus, the safety car this weekend for the 70th Macau Grand Prix. And the roar of noise echoes around the streets of Macau. Such a glorious variety of engines here for the Macau GT Cup. And the beautiful noise of those engines comes together in a symphony, a harmony of sounds, echoing off the barriers, echoing off the walls, and now the important job of weaving the cars as fast as they can to get heat into the tyres. It's a warm day, it's a lovely day. Blue skies, sunshine, packed grandstands, and this is the final race that we will enjoy before we have to build up to the Blue Ribbons event. The Formula 3 Macau Grand Prix gets underway local time here at 3:30 this afternoon. Local time now, just coming up to 6 minutes past midday. Welcome along wherever you are in the world. Sit back, relax, and enjoy a feast of GT racing over the course of 16 laps around the gear circuit here at Macau. Under the control of the Lamborghini Urus, they thread their way through. That is Mr. Macau. You can't walk anywhere around the paddock, around the circuit here at Macau without being stopped for photographs and autographs. Just a word with Mr. Macau, Eduardo Mortara. Top work, David, down on the grid. You got through many of the stars, platinum driver after platinum driver after platinum driver. This is the cream of the cream.
The Macau GT Cup, the FIA GT World Cup, is a race every driver wants to win. It is a race every manufacturer wants to win, and this is going to be a stunning race, make no bones about it. And with an entry dripping in star drivers, with an entry with the best GT3 cars, drivers, teams in the world. I can't wait. It's going to be absolutely stunning. And Raffaele Marciello wants to go out on a high. Mauro Engel wants to win this race. It could all fall into Edo Mortara's lap. We'll wait and see. But that run down towards Lisboa, we know the importance of it from last year. It takes on even more importance now that this is an FIA badged race.
You were egging them on. Well done. Are we going to get a repeat of what we had last year? Yes, please.
Well,
it was unbelievable, wasn't it?
It was. I mean, it was just a stunning fight. You and I were slightly gobsmacked by what we were watching. Take two. This is the rematch. Mauro Engel was perhaps a little bit more antsy than I've ever seen him before. We know he's a laid-back guy, and he was, but at that 10-minute signal, he was off to the car. That was for sure. He wants to win this. He desperately wants to put one over Lello, and equally, Lello wants to go out on a high. It's been an amazing association that he's had with Mercedes-AMG. But behind, Edo Mortara for third, Augusto Farfus lining up fourth, Sheldon van der Linde and Daniel Serra, the two Macau rookies on the third row. They've both had massively impressive weekends.
They really have. So many of the stories have evolved over the 4 days of the Macau Grand Prix for the Macau GT Cup over the course of this weekend. And now this is the big one. The Macau GT Cup lines up behind the Lamborghini. Interesting, the only Lamborghini in this field. Normally we would say I have a Lamborghini or two. We've only got one for the safety car this year, but we are not short of world-class sports car manufacturers all about to take the start of this race. Here we go, David. The scene is set.
Marciello in the yellow Mercedes-AMG. The multicoloured one alongside is Mauro Engel. It's an all Mercedes-AMG front row of the grid. It is 16 laps. It's the FIA GT World Cup for the Macau GT Cup, and it is go, and a really good start by Marciello, who was slightly in advance of Engel as they came across the line. Mortara's up the inside of Farfus for third. Audi against BMW. They are toe-to-toe. Mortara goes ahead. Van der Linde comes up alongside. Engel is in the draft then. He's in the wheel tracks. He's in the toe. He goes to the outside line towards Mandarin. Gets a face full of Marciello. He's not going to do it there. Mortara third. Van der Linde is up to fourth. Daniel Serra fifth. Farfus has gone backwards sixth ahead of Van Thor. And Marciello is getting away by a couple of lengths as they come down towards Lisboa. Mission accomplished, at least on lap one, because Marciello leads at turn 3. Marciello from Engel is the 1-2.
Through Lisboa they go, and Mauro Engel is having to look in the mirrors because Mr. Macau, Edo Mortara, right there in the Audi. They climb up San Francisco Hill now, and all of this is allowing Raffaele Marciello early in the race to pull clear. So it's not a battle between the two Mercedes side by side on the run down towards Lisboa, but would you believe it? Eduardo Mortara right there at Macau.
That start of Raffaele Marciello's was either very, very good or just ever so slightly anticipatory, but he was certainly ahead of Engel when he needed to be, and that was on the run to the first corner. There was no chance this year of Engel going alongside. He had to quickly change plan and get into the slipstream, and he's catching back up again. Look as they come then now down towards Police. So as they approach that sharp right in a moment or two. This is where Marciello is certainly being caught, but Engel has got to stay on his tail all the way out of our bend and plan that move towards Lisboa at the start of the next lap.
These cars are just so wonderful, aren't they, around the tight and twisty section, because you can scarcely believe they can get through this section, let alone the speeds that they're going, and so close proximity to the other drivers in the field. It is unbelievable. They thread their way around a corner that you really wouldn't think these cars would fit around. They do so single file. The GT Cup field heads down now. The circuit opens up down through Black Sands towards Fisherman's Bend they go. Raffaele Marciello, Mauro Engel has closed.
He has, but is he close enough to think about a move? He has got to be faster than Marciello in this final sector and then get right up behind him all the way down towards Lisboa. But Marciello will know what's coming, and he knows that's the big corner that he's got to cover off. Mortara third, Van der Linde fourth, best of the rookies as they come across the timing line. In fifth place, Daniel Serra. Down to sixth is Farfus, seventh is Van Thor, eighth is Junqueira, ninth is Picriello, and 10th is El Bamba. Gap between the race leaders was just under half a second. Look at Van der Linde crawling all over the back of Eduardo Mortara. Van der Linde has never been here before, but you wouldn't think it, would you? Look at this, right up against the wall, coming out of Mandarin.
Absolutely tied to the back of Eduardo Mortara, the expert here at Macau, if you can be an expert at Macau. So much success for Eduardo Mortara, and now the Macau rookie Sheldon Van der Linde all over the back of the Audi.
Heading up the hill then, you're looking back from that Audi. That is Sheldon Van der Linde in the BMW behind, and then it's Daniel Serra in fifth spot as they make the climb then up San Francisco, heading towards Eternity and then down towards Teddy Yip. Teddy Yip next, and speed building at this part of the circuit where Mortara hangs on to that third place. The Audi arguably better through the corners, but not quite with as much grunt in a straight line, and drivers on the grid saying that they've got to do the hard work early on in this race. Well, Marciello has done it seemingly to perfection, but don't rule out Mortara, don't rule out Engel, don't rule out anyone. But all it takes is one tiny error, and that wall is there to receive you. But Engel now dropping back a touch.
Looking back from Eduardo Mortara's car at the BMW, you realise just how close they come to the wall on this tight and twisty section of the circuit. The BMW barely a whisker between himself and the wall on the outside of the corners. As they now go around Donna Maria, it's Mercedes, Audi and BMW, the top four. And they head up towards the Melco hairpin. Raffaele Marciello turns through the corner. Could he be any more laid back if he tried?
Only when he's asleep, I think. Yes, he's just an extraordinary character. But put him in a race car, bang, does he deliver? So Engel chasing Marciello, Mercedes AMG 1 and 2, Audi 3rd, BMW 4th, Ferrari 5th in this battle of the brands. Where's the best Porsche? It's only 7th. Porsche having a not great time, it's going to be said, and Laurens Van Thor is upholding honour in the very attractive, sort of plum-coloured 911 a little bit further back in the queue, diving down through our bend, up towards the line. They come, and Raffaele Marciello leads. He's done the fastest lap of the race, and he is getting away. 9/10 now, he's stretched that margin to.
And quite a few of them putting in personal best and then overall best sectors. Edo Mortara, best in sector 3. You said that, didn't you? In that section of the circuit, the Audi really does go very well indeed. Sheldon Van der Linde in the final sector, that's the quick sector. You did say that, didn't you? Goes overall best in the final sector.
That's Farfus having a look at Daniel Serra then, Ferrari ahead of BMW. The BMW has been really good in this part of the circuit. We saw that yesterday, but Farfus got mugged off the start, didn't he? So he's fallen back, bearing in mind he started 4th. He's trying to push forward, but Daniel Serra, I'm really impressed with the way that he and also Sheldon Van der Linde have attacked Macau this weekend. They've just steadily learned and progressed, and both of them looking like they've been here for many a season.
He wasn't worried about being a rookie around the gear circuit when you spoke to him, was he? He was relishing the prospect. It's very nice, he said.
Yeah. One of the other rookies, I did catch up briefly with Jules Gounon, who is not having such a happy time. He said, we just can't find a balance. He said, the car just feels unstable. We've gone upside down on setup, and he said, we just can't get to the bottom of it. So you're not seeing the best out of Jules Gounon. He's another Mercedes AMG star, but he's being a bit hamstrung this weekend for whatever the reason is. The team doesn't know, so They don't know, we don't know.
Augusto Farfus doing what Augusto Farfus does in this BMW with all the grunt on the circuit, puts in the overall best in the first sector down in 6th place. Edo Mortara once again puts in the overall best sector in sector 3, the twisty section, suiting Edoardo Mortara in the Audi. Again, putting in the overall best sector, but Raffaele Marciello has got the fastest lap of the race, leads the race, 2:17.052 on that last lap for the race leader. The advantage still under a second, so 0.9 of a second between himself and Mauro Engel in second.
Down they come towards Arben, speed building at this part of the circuit. You can see it feels faster just because it looks wider, and it is wider, but those barriers are still there, almost arms outstretched, saying, come on, take me on if you dare. And as drivers have run wide, certainly at Arben over the past few seasons, and misjudged it ever so slightly, the consequences can be severe. Just look how close, pretty much everywhere, they are to the wall, trying to make the most of the limited width of the road. The lead gap is still hovering at 9/10 of a second. Marciello another fastest lap, though, we're in the 16s. Mortara third, Van der Linde fourth, then it's Serra ahead of Farfus. This is Van Thor, he's 7th at the moment, and there are the leaders, and again Van der Linde closing on Mortara. This is where he's got to try and open the tap on that BMW, but he's not going to get close enough in time. He's edging to the left and to the right to try to unsettle the Audi. Good luck with that.
Fates a dummy to one side, Jinx to the other. There is no way around Edoardo Mortara. Hugely experienced, hugely successful here at Macau, and this is a treat. Looking back from the multiple winner here at Macau, Edoardo Mortara, looking back to Sheldon van der Linde in the BMW. Now this is where the BMW is exceptional, around the twists, around the turns, the ups and the downs of the hilly section here at Macau, and the Audi is very well suited to this part of the track. Again, Augusto Farfus in the BMW, quickest, overall quickest in the first sector, and this time Daniel Serra in 5th place goes overall best in sector 2.
So those absolute best sector times being peppered across the different drivers, across the different brands as well. Looking a little bit further back, getting the tail view there of the cars going down towards Police. This is coming out of Moorish to climb up the hill. You can see Marciello getting away, and if anything now, maybe we're heading for a battle for second place, because Mortara is just edging clear of Van der Linde and might be able to have a go at Engel on the next open part of the circuit. In other words, from here all the way down to Lisboa, the move might be on. We know the Mercedes is good in a straight line, but equally we know that Mortara is a real hero around here. So you've got another clash of the Titans building up. It's for second place. You're third at the moment with Edoardo Mortara. That's Mauro Engel ahead.
It is, and they turn into the corner down towards the final section of the circuit to complete now 4 laps, and this is a 16-lap race. What a prospect, eh? We've got top-class drivers, top-class cars. They all compete, they all want to be here. Mauro Engel and Raffaele Marciello, even when this race last year did not have the FIA GT World Cup banner across it. It's back this year, but they still came. They wanted to be here.
When Engel went across the line, he lapped quicker than Marciello. Mortara lapped quicker than the 2 ahead. Quicker than anybody is Farfus. So it's concertinaing within that leading 6, only by a 10th or so. But it's game on. They've not given up. Nobody is settling for position. Look in the background. Farfus on his toes to try to unsettle Daniel Serra down towards Lisboa. Oh, no, you don't. First time we've had that Ferrari 296 at Macau, and it's 5th in the hands of the Brazilian driver, Daniel Serra.
And Augusto Farfus has won here. He's won in the FIA GT World Cup a few years ago, but Augusto Farfus is exceptional around the gear circuit here at Macau. Great to watch. Augusto Farfus right on the tail of the Ferrari of Daniel Serra. Up into the twisty section, they're going through the left-hander at Teddy Ip. They move on towards the Solitude S's, where the cars go from right to left, the wall, the barrier. It's all to deal with, and how close they go as they thread their way up through these big brutes of cars that thoroughly entertain the crowd. The grandstands are packed there, waiting and ready for the Formula 3 Macau Grand Prix. And what better precursor could you have than the FIA GT World Cup and the Macau GT Cup?
Yeah, you talk about Farfus, you're absolutely dead right, because he's another of the winners of the FIA GT World Cup, and every previous winner is on the grid, but he's also been a double gear race winner. So he's another driver with so much knowledge and experience of Macau that he can call on. Good battle lower down, Liu Yi there, just ahead of David Chen. That's 13th and 14th, those Porsches. We've been talking all weekend about Kevin Estre having a pretty tough time. His is the purple Porsche there on the back of Alabama coming down towards Melco. He's up into 11th. But a couple of times this weekend, we've had Kevin off into the barriers. The Porsches, though, I think have really lost out on the BOP. They've not been as fleet of foot as we expected.
We were waiting for this battle between Raffaele Marciello and Mauro Engel. Mauro is still there. He's keeping the gap to under 1 second. It's 0.9. It's a longer race. It's the longest race we've had so far this weekend. In fact, last weekend as well. A 16-lap race for the GT World Cup, the Macau GT Cup. And we may yet have this battle between Mauro Engel. It's come down by a tenth. It's come down to 0.8 of a second between the top two. But let's talk about Raffaele Marciello. A wonderful association with Mercedes-AMG over the years. He was cool about it, wasn't he? He's got a lovely little logo on the front of the car saying Grazie Lello, and that's his nickname within the team. And it would be a nice way to finish the association, wouldn't it, to take the FIA GT World Cup, just to add to all the other trophies that Raffaele has got over the years.
It would indeed. He has been quite outstanding in these cars. Doesn't matter which championship, which teammate he's been winning this year, whether it's been in British GT at Snetterton, whether it's been in the Fanatec GT World Challenge Europe Sprint and Endurance, and here he is potentially going to win in Macau as well. Yes, there's nothing really left to win for him in these cars now.
Did Raffaele Marciello say how nice it was to be on circuits like Alton Park in the UK? Wasn't it Raffaele said that?
Yeah, and Jules Gounon as well, when they first came over. Old school circuits. And you know, here's an old school circuit. Here's another one that leaves absolutely no margin for error. We had a quick shot on board with Lawrence Vanthor. He's definitely dropping away from that top six, isn't he? To the upway, the gap between the leaders, I was going to suggest, is coming down, but the sector times argue with that, actually, although Engel was good in sector one. Marciello has stretched that margin again. It seems going up the hill. Mortara coming back at the pair as best he can, but really it's on that element of the circuit from here now down to Lisboa where you can open up the power of the cars. Look, Mortara getting right onto the back of Engel, but then the power of the Mercedes-AMG kicks in and he's almost got to wave it goodbye.
It's wonderful to watch these cars coming down onto the fast sweeps of the circuit, the end of the circuit, down through Fisherman's, down through Arben, the completion of a lap, and they will be completing 6 laps at the end of this, because these are roads. These are the roads of Macau. Therefore, they are not billiard table smooth. So you see the little bumps, and these cars react immediately, and they come oh so close to the barriers, but inch perfect. Raffaele Marciello completes 6 laps now. The gap, 0.9 of a second. It is absolutely the same lap after lap.
Metronomic, aren't they? And that is why these are factory-paid professional GT drivers. What might change is this third place, because although Eduardo Mortara is ahead of Sheldon van der Linde, it is not by much, although on this lap van der Linde I think had just fallen away ever so slightly out of Mandarin, and likewise Farfus isn't as close to Sella as he was earlier on. So frustrating this for Mortara. He's brilliant on the brakes. He claws back a length or a length and a half against Engel, but then it's too late.
He's been in very different machinery this year, hasn't he? He's gone up the hill, climbing, threading our way through as we go through the twists and turns, the wall on the left, the barrier on the right-hand side. Such a demanding circuit this for GT drivers, and they have now completed 6 laps, and dare I say it, 6 incident-free laps. That is the calibre of driver we're dealing with.
It is, although I think Mauro Engel would quite welcome a safety car, wouldn't he? Because that might give him an opportunity to have another go on a restart, because at the moment I don't think he's going to be able to make up that 9/10, especially as Marciello is upping his pace in the sectors once again, and he's just edging away. It's only by under a tenth, but it all adds up. And here, look, Mortara, on this narrower part of the circuit where there's no chance of overtaking, is right there on the back of Engel. So here, you don't really have to do a great deal of defending, because it's just unfeasible for a big wide car to get past you. A little bit different maybe in one or two of the other categories that race here over the 2 weekends this year. And the Melco hairpin, as Alan's made the point already in the weekend, has this permanent yellow flag, which means don't even think about it.
No, there isn't the space, is there? I don't know how they get these cars around. It is quite incredible. But also, they don't lose time, because the exit from the Melco hairpin sets them up for this quick run down through Black Sands, through Fisherman's Bend, up towards Arben, the final turn on the circuit, and that sets them up in turn for the overtaking position on the circuit down at Lisboa. Heavy braking into the right-hander.
Mortara off Arben, right up against the wall. The lead gap is still hovering about the 9/10 of the second marker. Daniel Serra has just done the fastest lap of the race, so he might be a rookie, and he's on his own. He's not getting a tow or anything, but he's just done the fastest lap of the race. The Ferrari in 5th place as they come towards us. We are on lap 8 out of the 16 here in the Macau GT Cup, which doubles up as the FIA GT World Cup, and that's the leading 6 coming down towards Lisboa. And this time around, it is Engel quicker in sector 1.
And Augusto Farfus once again puts in the overall best sector in sector 1. Augusto Farfus in that BMW. They're just suited. They go so well hand in hand over the course of the 4 days. And there is an incident down at Lisboa. They all begin to rub paintwork, and a green flag being waved at San Francisco at the bottom of the hill.
Well, that was Christopher Haase getting ahead of Kevin Estre, and that, I'm afraid, in the wall looks like David Chen's Ferrari. And that's gone a long way into the tyre stack, hasn't it? It's embedded in there by the look of it. David Chen was in 14th place. That was behind that little battle that we were looking at going to San Francisco. But that's going to take a little bit of retrieval, I fear. So this is what Maro Engel has been hoping for. An interruption maybe that will give him a lifeline. Can that car be moved, or are we going to have a safety car is deployed? That's the answer.
Yep.
Safety car deployed.
The car is deeply buried into that tyre wall. Now that tyre wall is 2 tyres deep and very, very well lassoed together.
That was Kevin Estre dive-bombing Earl Bamber, so they might be representing Porsche, but no love lost. And then there was contact. That takes the rear diffuser off Est's car, and Christopher Haase says, thank you very much. Through he goes. 2 places, handed on a plate. It's Christmas.
Thank you very much indeed. Up San Francisco Hill with the job done. And then you see the car buried in the tyre barrier at the exits of Lisboa. Now that's retrieval is going to require the car to be pulled out from the tyre barrier and then up. So it's not just a simple quick fix down at Lisboa.
19 cars in today's race. We lost the Hello Kitty Amelie Fong Audi after all the damage sustained yesterday, which ultimately stopped the race, didn't it? We had a race suspension
He's put
yesterday.
up a really nice post on social media today saying thank you to everyone for this huge support that they've had for the car. Apologise for not being able to race because they have had this amazing support this weekend.
Although to take the positives, Kitty's got 8 lives left, so that's all right then. But it was a big wreck. The car sits rather forlornly in its garage with the sheet over the top of it. You're riding with Laurens Vanthoor at the moment, and he's in 7th place, but we're under safety car conditions in the Macau GT Cup, the FIA GT World Cup race here at Macau. Whew, time for a breath.
Well, 8 laps we got, just about, before we got the chance to pause and collect our thoughts, keep the tyres up to temperature for the drivers, and everyone in single file while that car is recovered from Lisboa. Will take a little while because they'll have to extricate the car. It's maybe one of the problems with those aerodynamic fronts of the cars. They just dig into the tyre wall when they go off, and that's going to be a pull back. 2 cranes down there at Lisboa of pretty impressive standard. You can see already they've got it tethered up. The crane's on the outside of the corner. There you see the big one right on the inside of the corner, and then after the corner as well we've got a very long boom on that crane to get cars lifted out of the way very quickly.
It's interesting, wasn't it, that shot we had of the Estre Bamber contact, and how as Earl Bamber took his line and Kevin Estre took his, it was almost like a tin opener. It just wiped that diffuser off the back. You know, that's going to matter, certainly on that section down to Lisboa. So I think Kevin Estre might be pleased he gained 1 place, but actually, in the grand scheme of things, he's lost bodywork and a bit of downforce, and he didn't really progress him very far, because as he was gaining 1 place, Haase gained 2, and that put him ahead of the pair of Porsches, and it pushed Kevin Estre back to where he was anyway in the overall standings. But right now, Raffaele Marciello leads under safety car conditions. Maro Engel second, Edo Mortara is in 3rd position.
So, under the control of the safety car and under the control of the crane for the 52 car of Chan Wei-an.
Oh, it's a mess, isn't it?
It's, yeah, not pretty, is it?
It says ouch to me.
It says, yeah, ouch in a big way. But the car in the air, that's good news. The marshals will sweep up some of the debris very quickly while the car is still being retrieved to the other side. It parks outside a shop which is a fairly weird thing to see. The crane swings around, it puts the car in safe place until the end of the race so it can be recovered. But there are shops on the other side of the barriers here at Macau, because as normal as life can be at Macau, it will continue.
True. So you can nip off and get 2 apples, a loaf of bread and a front upright. If
you got 5 apples, you'd have the height of Hello Kitty.
Well, this is true. This is true. Well, it might be 4.5 after yesterday. That was a whack, but you're right. You will have noticed, everybody, that Alan has become an enormous fan of the Hello Kitty Audi, and he takes it personally that the car was damaged yesterday. The safety car is going to be in this time.
Couldn't see the car last night. The carriage was cordoned off, so we couldn't see the sad state of the car, but that was such a shame. Such a shame.
The good news was that Adley Fong was okay, because it was a big, big hit. That's Eduardo Mortara. Eduardo Mortara is in 3rd place at the moment, and he's trying to work out what he can do on the restart. He's got the tyres all back up to temperature. Mauro Engel is about to have perhaps the most important restart of the season. And how does Raffaele Marciello control it? Look at that for being laid back, just methodically, hand on the belts. Okay, right, let's decide when to go. The guy's a star, he really is.
There are so many stars on this grid. Here we go then, we're about to get racing back on the way as soon as the safety car pulls in, the one and only safety car intervention so far. Let's get the heat back into the tyres. Eduardo Mortara weaving the car around, and Raffaele Marciello has a huge gap at the front of the field on the restart.
But what was Engel doing? Because he's certainly not within 5 lengths of the leader, and he's got a problem. Mortara's gone by, and Mauro Engel's Mercedes has pretty much gone into limp home mode by the look of it, because they've all come flooding past him. He couldn't go after Marciello. There wasn't a plan. He's got a problem. It's compromised everybody behind him. It's given Marciello a monster lead, but Engel's got a problem. Van der Linde again tries to get past Mortara, to no avail. So now, because you couldn't overtake until you got to the line, everybody stuck behind Engel has been affected. Marciello is away scot-free, but there's going to be a mammoth battle for 2nd place now.
I was expecting the BMW to be right there down on this boa, but he slots in behind Eduardo Mortara. They thread their way through within an inch of each other around this boa. Up the hill they go. I expected the BMW though to be right on the tail of Mortara down at this boa, but he dropped back a little.
Yeah, Mortara's got a lead right foot, hasn't he? He knows exactly how to wring everything out of the Audi at that section of the circuit and where to position to defend. So right now, you've got Mortara up into 2nd place. Massive disappointment for Mauro Engel. But yeah, having had that safety car in a way he needed, it was as though the car was either stuck in a gear or, like I say, in limp home mode, because it just never picked up pace, did it?
Never did, no. Very disappointing for Mauro Engel. What a shame. What could possibly have gone wrong during that safety car intervention that caused Mauro Engel drop right back? He was not within the regulatory distance between himself and Raffaele Marciello. An incident between 22, yep, El Bamba, and 27, yep, Kevin Estra, being investigated.
Okay. So Richard Norbury, the chairman of the stewards, and his 2 colleagues will have a quick look at that and see whether it was hard racing between each of them trying to be the hero for Porsche, or whether there's anything that needs to be offered up as a penalty. Out of the Malco hairpin, you're looking back from the new 2nd place Audi of Eduardo Mortara. We're on lap 10 out of the 16 in this Macau GT Cup race, with Augusto Farfus falling away just a little, again with Daniel Suarez in 5th place. Down they come, and in fact we've had the change, haven't we? Yes, Farfus has jumped the Ferrari, forgive me. So Farfus out of sight has gone by, and what that means now is that he's trying to go after Van der Linde. There is a gap to make up, but that little bit of confusion as they had to dodge around the trouble. Engel has certainly given now Farfus a chance.
Oh, the noise is glorious. They come past the commentary box, and it's so many different engine notes, so many different engine tones, and they all say huge speed, huge grunt. Here we go, Van der Linde on the outside down at Mandarin, having a look at the multiple winner here at Macau at the back of Eduardo Mortara's car. What a battle as they go down towards them. Farfus is there as well. Farfus having a look at the teammate, the back of the BMW. This is wonderful. Audi, BMW, BMW.
Same type of car, different teams operating them, but yeah, Farfus now desperately keen to get ahead of Van der Linde. He wants a podium out of this, doesn't he? Remember that he was 4th on the grid, but he fell back early on in the race, and this actually might be helping Mortara now, because Van der Linde ain't going to give up 3rd, and while they squabble, Mortara might be able to get away. Mauro Engel into the pits, I'm afraid, so after all the anticipation, it's come to naught for Maro. Real shame. Look, Mortara is getting away because right now Van der Linde is focused on that rear view mirror, or the rear view television screen that they have in a modern day GT car, because absolutely filling it is Farfus.
Yeah, Farfus right on the tail. Two BMWs tied together as they thread their way around the twisty left and right and left and right, the wall, the barrier, it's all there. Two BMWs together chasing down the Audi in front of Eduardo Mortara. And bear in mind that Eduardo Mortara on this part of the circuit, that car, that combination with driver works so well on this part of the track. But when they get out of the Melco hairpin, that's when the BMWs really do come into their own. Up towards the Melco hairpin, down towards the Melco hairpin, they go downhill, turn through the corner, and the two BMWs turn through Melco now.
Now that Mortara has a clear road ahead of him, he is starting to chip away at Marcello in the sectors. So sectors 3 and 4, the Audi has been quicker. Not demonstrably, but just by a little. And I'm not suggesting he's going to be able to catch a pass, don't misunderstand, but he is having a go. He's certainly charging. Now, it could also be that Raffaele Marcello is driving within himself, because he would have seen nothing behind him, and he knows therefore that he's got a big gap to be able to preserve. And into the pit lane goes Van der Linde. Sheldon Van der Linde peels off into the pit lane.
Well, it's surprise after surprise, isn't it? What happened to Maro Engel? What happened to Sheldon Van der Linde? And Augusto Farfus now in a podium position as they complete 11 laps out of 16.
Right, I'm just looking to see whether Van der Linde stops at the team. He does. So Sheldon Van der Linde, it would be that he's right just out of my view, unfortunately. I was wondering whether it was a drive-through that hadn't come up on the timing screen. It's not. He stops at the team. So maybe he's run over something and he's worried about a tyre, because the pace had been good on that lap, and then suddenly, bang, into the pits he came.
Well, Sheldon and Van der Linde in the BMW was able to be right on the tail of Eduardo Mortara. What now can Augusto Farfus do? There's a bit of a gap to make up.
I reckon it was a puncture, or he needed a new tyre. Maybe he felt there was a tyre issue, because they dispatched him very quickly. You saw the 11s on the road where he's gone storming out. So Sheldon Van der Linde is back in the race. So it seemed to come late in the lap, as though he either felt there was or had identified correctly there was a puncture.
We're thinking they changed the rear.
Right,
so,
okay.
Yeah, one of the rear tyres on Sheldon's car.
Well, he did come late in the lap. He was fortunate because he didn't seem to lose a massive amount of time. You know, if it happened at Lisboa, for example, or earlier on in the lap, it would have been a big drama. Right, so Marcello to Mortara, 2.7 seconds, and last time around, actually, there wasn't a lot to choose. It was not even a tenth of a second, although Mortara was slightly quicker. That's Farfus third, Serra fourth, Jucadea fifth, and Vantor just peeking into shot in sixth place.
How close does that BMW come? Coming out of the right-hander at Moorish, and then onto the final section of this tight and twisty section of the circuit through Melco hairpin. Augusto Farfus, always spectacular around the gear circuit here at Macau. Winner, as we've said, of the FIA GT World Cup a few years ago now. Gave a very wonderful present to Charlie Lamb by winning the race. Charlie Lamb, of course, the head figure that's beloved by BMW over the years and BMW Motorsports, and very sadly, after enjoying that moment on the top step of the podium with Augusto in his final race for Schnitzer, very soon after that we lost Charlie Lamb. So really rather fitting that Augusto, I'm sure that will be one of his highlights of his career, his very long and successful career, but being able to deliver the golden trophy, the FIA GT World Cup, to Charlie Lamb, well, that was something to remember. Now he's fighting for second place. Can't really do anything about the gap between himself and Eduardo Mortara.
Yeah, the gap is not coming down, is it? Try as Augusto might. Looking back here at Christopher Haase. So you're on board with Vantor. Now, what did Christopher say on the grid about pushing? Well, he certainly has, because he dropped back early on. I think he was on page 2 of the timing screen, but he's up to 7th place overall. If anybody knows an Audi R8 inside out, it is Christopher Haase. He must have done more miles in those cars, I think, than probably anybody else. And he remains an incredibly dependable GT driver. The number of times you say Haase makes a mistake or Haase off the road, I can count on the fingers of one finger. You know, it just barely happens.
Same applies to Raffaele Marciello, who has now completed 12 laps out of 16. He rarely makes a mistake. He went straight on at Macau hairpin last year, and we said, "You made a mistake." Surely not. No, surely not. It was not the case. There was something wrong with the car last year.
Kind of balances out though. Last year it was him that had the mechanical woe. This year it's Maro Engel. So kind of balances. But hey, Maro Engel will be back, and maybe Raffaele will in the fullness of time as well, but wearing different overalls. We'll see where his manufacturing program takes him.
That would be nice, wouldn't it, eh?
I think GT racing is going to look very different next year. We're hearing all sorts of stories, of course, of teams changing brands, of brands disappearing, of drivers being on the market, some moving away from GT racing into the hypercar scene, some going from endurance GT racing to the pseudo GT DTM category. So I think entry lists will look different, and maybe another wave of stars will take centre stage.
Eduardo Mortara has just put in the overall best in Sector 4 in second place. So Eduardo Mortara, at the end of the last lap, he was almost 3 seconds behind the race leader, Raffaele Marciello, who is metronomic during this race, not under the pressure of Maro Engel now. He's able to consolidate the advantage, 2.6 seconds now at the end of 13 laps. Only one interruption in this race so far.
Yeah, Sheldon van der Linde has rejoined, but he's last, which is a real shame, because that doesn't tell you how good he has been this weekend. If you look at the result sheet, you think, oh, he didn't do very well at Macau. He did what he did. And Sheldon, for WRT, Yves Witt, Vincent Voss's team, he's been another of the standouts for me. Kevin Estre, in the meantime, I hold my hands up to being a Kevin Estre fan, is sort of getting on with it. Finally, he's up in 9th place, but the Porsche drivers, I think, collectively will tell you this has been a tough weekend.
Yeah, when you look at Laurens Vanthoor down in 6th place, the car, by the way, looks absolutely stunning. They always think really hard about the liveries to run in the sunshine here at Macau, and Laurens Vanthoor's Porsche looks just beautiful.
Many of the cars with a special livery for this region, whereas this colour scheme that Raffaele Marciello carries for the Landgraf team is a familiar one. It's the colours he carried last year to win the German ADAC GT Masters title. And as he drops down the hill once more, this is his race to lose. Doesn't matter what Eduardo Mortara does, Raffaele will have enough in hand, and the confidence is up. And this is just the perfect way for him to end that 7-year association with Mercedes-AMG. I would start to tell you all the things he's won, but I've got a flight at midnight, so I won't have time.
We've only got 3 more laps. 2.5 really, because they are on lap 14 out of 16. Raffaele Marciello in splendid isolation coming out of Donna Maria and down towards the Macau hairpin. The gap between himself and Eduardo Mortara came down by 0.3 on the previous lap. So Eduardo Mortara 2.6 seconds behind the race leader at the end of lap number 13. What's the gap going to be at the end of lap 14? You know what? We have been very excited about this race in previous years when we have side-by-side battles. We are excited anyway, even though we haven't had those side-by-side battles during this race. It is just exciting to see drivers of this calibre and this machinery driving around the gear circuit. There is no such thing as a dull race for the Macau GT Cup, because just seeing these cars and these drivers is enough.
You can close your eyes and it will be exciting, because they sound great, and as we made the point, all of the cars have a different engine note. You can tell the Mercedes from the Porsche, you can tell the Audi from the Ferrari, from the BMW. It is, as Stefan Rattel was saying on the grid, an outstanding quality entry. All the manufacturers have embraced it, and of course some of them say, oh, we didn't get a good BOP. Eduardo Mortara was fascinating in the press conference yesterday, because he did talk about the fact that the pace wasn't mega, but he said, I'm not complaining, I'm not moaning, that's just the way it is, and we'll go and we'll look at the data and we'll try and find something. But you have to say, over the last few years, this really has stood out as a Mercedes circuit, hasn't it? And the Mercedes-AMG GT3 seemingly, it's like it was designed for Macau.
It really is, yeah. It's always a joy to hear it for the first time, blasting out of the pit lane on Thursday morning. Let's run down the order then with 14 laps complete. There'll be 1 lap to go at the end of this one, and a 16-lap race for the Macau GT Cup. Raffaele Marciello, car number 48, leads from number 40, Eduardo Mortara. Third place, the BMW of Augusto Farfus. Fourth place, the Ferrari of Daniel Serra. Fifth place, Daniel Giancadella. We've not mentioned him very often.
No.
That car needed a bit of repair, not too much. The team were quite comfortable last night. A few scuffs, you expect that around the circuit here at Macau. And Lawrence Van Tour completes the top 6. Christopher Haase is in 7th place. So Raffaele Marciello, 15 laps complete at the end of this. Looking at him at work in the office. That can only be one place, can't it, when you pull the wheel around that much?
Absolutely, but there's just no drama in that whatsoever. This almost languid style that Raffaele has out of the car translates into it, even though he is on one of the most daunting and testing circuits in the world, and he's hustling a car within millimetres of concrete or brick or metal Armco barrier. But even so, then he just looks so calm.
Up to complete 15 laps here, crosses over the start-finish line, cuts the timing beam. A 16-lap race, they go on to the final lap, and the advantage 2.6 seconds Mercedes to Audi.
There's a yellow flag at turn 22, so our bend, sorry, Fisherman's Bend, I think somebody has had a moment, and we'll see whether that is going to massively affect the last lap at all. I don't think it will, but Raffaele Marciello has gone through. There's a bit of debris, to say the very least. Try and work out in a moment who it is. Marciello and Mortara have gone through. We're on the last lap of the race. So, yellow flag will greet them at the end of the lap.
Did that only look purpley to you?
I'm not sure. I'm looking for a slow last sector, but I'm struggling a little bit. Thomas Preining, I'm not sure, went through the last sector.
Final lap for Raffaele Marciello, working at the wheel, sawing his way through the tight and twisty parts of the circuit, negotiating the walls and the barriers and the bumps in the road, everything else that the people of Macau negotiate every day at slightly slower speeds on mopeds and cars and motorbikes and vans and lorries.
Yeah, whoever that bodywork has come from, I think he's still in the race. I'm slightly puzzled as to what it's dropped from. We'll have to have a look at the end of the race when they come past us and identify the new lightweight model. But certainly you can see somebody's done something. But yes, on these very busy public roads, this is the answer, isn't it? So it's Matteo Cairoli you're looking at getting sideways, but ahead. The bodywork's already come off something. Thomas Preining was up road. And Preining was on the tail of Jules Gounon's Mercedes. Anyway, out of the hairpin comes Raffaele Marciello then. He's heading towards the checkered flag with Eduardo Mortara behind him. It is the last lap of the FIA GT World Cup. It is the last lap of the Macau GT Cup race, and it's going to be Raffaele Marciello to bring it home. It will be a second win in this race for him. It is a very prestigious, perhaps one of the most prestigious things you can win in a GT car. Raffaele Marciello won it in 2019, and he's going to round out that 7-year stint with Mercedes-AMG with another win. The 2023 FIA GT World Cup, the Macau GT Cup, won by Raffaele Marciello for Mercedes-AMG. He wins from Eduardo Mortara second for Audi, Augusto Farfus third for BMW. Rookie at Macau, Daniel Serra, fourth. A mega job to be ahead of Danny Giancadella and Lawrence Van Toor in sixth. Christopher Haase taking seventh ahead of Alessio Picariello, then Earl Bamber and Leo Yi. And the rest of the cars come through. Have we lost Kevin Astra at the very end of the race? Because he was, I think, in 10th place, and he came through 12th. He dropped back, according to the timing screen, right at the very end. So, a tremendous drive by Raffaele Marciello. Yes, it was a shame that Maro Engel had that mechanical problem, but you know what? The way that Raffaele had been going, I still think he might well have been able to put Maro in his place.
I did wonder if that bodywork that we saw over there on the circuit was purple, and that might be something that happened to Kevin Astra.
Because we know he'd already got rear damage.
Yes.
Contact with Earl Bamber earlier on. You could very well be right, Al, yeah. Wow, look at that for a photograph. As everybody comes up in one. Isn't it?
Cars of your dreams.
OK, Hello Kitty Audi aside, which 143rd model are you going to buy out of that grid? Because there are so many good liveries, aren't there?
No, I'm going to say Hello Kitty and Hello Kitty only. It's like changing a football team.
Oh, I suppose that's true.
What's wrong with you?
I do apologise. Marciello savouring this moment. It could be the last lap he ever has in one of these cars. I don't think he's due to do the IGTC finale, the Gulf 12 Hours, next month, is he? I think this is definitely it. So Raffaele Marciello Must be quite an emotional in-lap.
Yeah,
he doesn't often show emotion,
no.
but this might be just one of those times where he thinks, gosh, and the enormity of all of this starts to sink in. But he has been, as I keep saying, so successful in these cars. He has very quickly made himself the benchmark driver. And with victory here in the past, with victory in the, as it then was, Blancpain Sprint Series, the Suzuka 10 Hours, the Spa 24 Hours, ADAC GT Masters, Fanatec GT Endurance, Fanatec GT Overall. The list just goes on and on and on. And he's done it again this year. He's won the Endurance title with Timo Bognaslavski and Jules Gounon, and he's won the Overall, the combined Endurance and Sprint. And when you ask him how many races he's won, or how many victories he's had in a given season, there's a, oh, I don't know, sort of shrug.
There's always a shrug.
He takes everything in his stride. He's been a tremendous ambassador for the brands and a great competitor.
Well, sometimes you have to give it a little bit, don't you?
Yeah.
And if you want to write a script, then that will be the script to write for the association with Raffaele Marciello. It doesn't feel that long ago, you know, that he was in a single-seater, a Formula 3 car around the Macau circuit, and he excelled in a Formula 3 car. He's excelled in a Mercedes AMG. Wonderful stuff.
Yes, he was the FIA European Formula 3 champion the year after the title had been won, or the equivalent title had been won by Danny Juncadella. And now they are stable mates at Mercedes AMG.
Yeah.
It's funny how careers move and intertwine and break apart and come back, isn't it?
It certainly is. And a lovely finish to the career at Mercedes AMG for Raffaele Marciello. Bounces its way around the circuit, thanking the marshals, and will soon arrive down in pit lane and on to Parc Fermé to conclude the final race. Yeah, there's a bit of emotion, and across the line, super stuff for Raffaele Marciello. Happy with that, and rightly so. Stands atop the podium on 2 out of 2 races this weekend for the Macau GT Cup.
Marcello masters Macau, and Monsters Mortara in the process as his runner-up, and Augusto Farfus taking 3rd place. Well, we expected action and drama from the FIA GT World Cup. The Macau GT Cup has delivered yet again. Can we have 3 races next year?
It wouldn't be bad, would it?
2 heats and a final.
It's just a gift.
Yeah.
It is a gift of a race. They work so well. I mean, we've got world-class drivers without doubt, but to only have one interruption in a 16-lap race. Oh, hang on. That's the shot, isn't it?
Savour the moment, Lello. Now the emotion comes out. We've talked about him being cool and laid back and languid, but right now, Raffaele Marciello celebrates honours in the Macau GT Cup. Embraces the team, embraces the engineers, and Raffaele Marciello has done a tremendous job.
Thank you, thank you.
The team delighted, and for Mercedes AMG Team Landgraf, not just the team, but Mercedes AMG as well, thanking him for a win, thanking him for everything he's done for the brand over those 7 years. A wonderful drive, and he will make his way shortly up to the podium. Every cameraman wants a piece of him at the moment. All the videographers. There's been a really nice little 3-minute video that's been done to say thank you to Raffaele, which was done the other week. And when you watch it back, you just remember all these wins that he's had, win after win after win after win, all around the globe. So, looking completely unruffled, Raffaele Marciello is the winner of the FIA GT World Cup race. The Macau GT Cup taken for the 2nd time by Raffaele Marciello.
Oh, wonderful moments to savour for Raffaele Marciello, and it is emotional. Closed his eyes for quite a while when he got out of the car and posed for the photographs. And there are plenty of photographs of fist bumps yet to come, I reckon. Number 1, Raffaele Marciello here at Macau, and a lovely big broad smile as well.
What could be the same is shift pedal.
So Lello will go toward the podium in a moment, and he'll be joined there by Eduardo Mortara and Augusto Farfus. 3 different brands in the top 3 is a pretty good result, isn't it? Let's make it 4 in the top 4, because this is the result, and it is Mercedes, AMG, Audi, BMW, Ferrari, the top 4. Raffaele Marciello wins at Macau from Eduardo Mortara, and in 3rd place, Augusto Farfus. It's Daniel Serra 4th, ahead of Danny Juncadella, and then Laurens van Thor with Christopher Haase in 7th place. 8th, Alessio Picariello from Albamba, and Leo Yi in 10th place. In 11th, it was Matteo Cairoli getting ahead of Kevin Estre at the end. Frankie Cheng 13th from Jules Gounon. He was 14th from Thomas Preining. Then in 16th place, Sheldon van der Linde after his pit stop, and it was Marchi Lee who completed the order. The 2 non-finishers that we had, Maro Engel, mechanical woes, David Chen in the barriers and triggering that safety car down at Lisboa. And the 1 non-starter, Adderley Fong, after the big damage done to the Hello Kitty Audi yesterday. Sadly, too much damage for the Uno Racing team to be able to sort out. Well, the podium will be our next port of call, but there's, of course, another race still to come on the gear circuit, and it is the Grand Prix itself, the Macau Grand Prix. Will be getting underway at 3:30 local time, and it's 5 minutes to 1 local time right now. Before that, there is the traditional build-up to the race with the Lion and Dragon dance. The Dragon joining the Lion this year for the ceremonial dance before the race gets underway. The pit lane will open in due course to release the F3 cars around at the moment. Celebrations for the German Landgraf team. Grazie Lello seems wholly appropriate, doesn't it? Lello these days, having taken Swiss citizenship, he had a Swiss license anyway, ran under a Swiss flag, but Italian by birth, and he wins the Macau GT Cup. Let's look at the best bits of a stunning 16 laps. So some great images of the Macau GT Cup. And, teams are in the pit lane, getting ready to cheer Raffaele Marciello to the echo, and deservedly so. The dignitaries from the Sports Bureau of the Macau Grand Prix Organising Committee will be coming up shortly. Also the representatives from the FIA, Lutz Linden, who is the president of the FIA GT Commission, will be on too, and Stefan Rattel, the architect of the GT3 regulations that have been so successful all around the globe, standing very proud in the pit lane. Well, the doors atop the podium are opening. That means, therefore, that the organising party are almost there, almost ready. Therefore, it's time, once we've got the drivers, the dignitaries, the trophy girls, the awards, the top 3 will come forward. Then we'll have the, if you like, Macau GT Cup drivers first. Then the FIA GT World Cup will go to the winning manufacturer and the silver graded driver. Then the World Cup to the overall winning driver and the winning manufacturer as well. There's a trophy for the winning manufacturer from the Macau Grand Prix Organising Committee and also from the FIA. So it's going to be a good day for Mercedes AMG, that's for certain. And yet again, GT cars around the gear circuit have not disappointed, have they? Mega entry, and with defeat for, of course, everybody but Mercedes AMG, you can pretty much guarantee they'll come back even stronger next year, determined to win this and stop this almost monopoly that Mercedes AMG has on the race, with 3 out of 3 over the last seasons. Darrell Young, then Maro Engel, now Raffaele Marciello taking honours for Mercedes AMG. And the other brands are going to be very keen to try and stop that if they possibly can. So the organisers making sure they've got the overall top 3 and the winning silver, but also the team's representatives as well.
Ladies and gentlemen, hello everyone. Here comes the 70th Macau Grand Prix, Macau GT Cup, FIA GT World Cup trophy presentation ceremony. First of all, let's welcome our winners to the podium. On second runner-up, number 11, Augusto Farfus from Brazil. Welcome, driver. Congratulations. And our first runner-up, number 40, Eduardo Matara from Switzerland. Congratulations to Matara. And on the top of the podium, our winner is number 48, Rafaela Machado. Congratulations. Also, I would like to invite the winning manufacturer representative to the podium as well. Mercedes, Mr. Stefan Winden, head of Mercedes AMG Customer Racing. And also the super-rated driver, number 33, Ye Hong Li from China. Congratulations. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's the national anthem for the winner. Thank you. And now I would like to invite the guests to present the laurel and trophy to the winners. May I have the honor to welcome Mr. Poon Wang Kun, President of the Sports Bureau and Coordinator of the Macau Grand Prix Organizing Committee, to present the laurel and trophies to the winners. First, please present to our second runner-up, number 11, Augusto Farfus. Congratulations. And Mr. Poon, please also present the laurel and trophy to our first runner-up, number 40, Eduardo Matara. And of course, laurel and trophy to the winner of Macau GT Cup, FIA GT World Cup, number 48, Rafaela Machado. Congratulations. And I would like to invite Mr. Poon to also present the laurel and trophy to the representative of the winning manufacturer, Mercedes. Thank you. And Mr. Poon, please also present the laurel and trophy to our super-rated driver, number 33, Ye Hong Li. Thank you. Please gather at the center and take a photo together. To all the drivers, please raise your trophy and look to the front at our media friends, official cameras at the very center. Take a photo together. Once again, a loud cheers to the winners. Thank you, Mr. Poon. Would all the drivers and winners please remain on the podium, as up next we are going to present the trophies by FIA. Would all the drivers please again remain on the podium. I would like to invite the presenter, our guest, Mr. Lutz Leif Litten, President of the FIA GT Commission, to present first of all the trophy to the winning driver, please. Congratulations once again to Marcialo. And I would like to also invite Mr. Linton to present the trophy to the winning manufacturer representative. Once again, congratulations to Mercedes. And Mr. Linton, please remain at the center. Take a photo with all the winners. Once again, winners, please look to the front for one more photo together. You can gather at the center, please. Yes. Move a little bit to the center. Thank you very much. Please look to the front. Raise up high with your trophies. Thank you, Mr. Linton. Thank you very much. With all the winners, please again remain on the podium. Thank you, our guest. And now let our audience share your exciting moment as it's the champagne time. All right, all the drivers ready, and our audience, your cheers ready, your great round of applause ready. Congratulations! Woohoo! Here are the winners of the Macau GT Cup, FIA GT World Cup winners. Congratulations. Thank you. And I would like to invite the top 3 winners. Please again remain at where you are for some questions. Thank you. The top 3 winners, please remain here. Thank you, our silver-rated driver. Thank you, representative of the winning manufacturer. And now I'll pass the time to Chris for some questions to the top 3 winners.